Welcome aboard 2K78, operating a southeastern service to London, Victoria. You'll be calling at all stations to St. Mary Cray, then Bromley South, and Denmark Hill. Set the train up and depart once boarding is complete. Note, whenever you see this board located at the side of the track, you must sound the horn. Hello, everyone. KermMartian here, back with Train Simulator 2021. This is Train Simulator 2021, Episode 7. And this is KermMartian Live number 44, the 44th one of these live streams that I've done. Thank you all for joining me today, whether you're watching this live or you are catching up with it later. We're going to get our train all set up here and get ready to go. So let's open some doors. Doors are open. Put ourselves into forward. Kill our AWS. Take a look outside at our class 465. Put those headlights on. There we go. There we are today. Hello. I look a little bit disgruntled, but oh well. What do we have today? We have an 8-car train, 8 carriages on our train today. Take a look down our class 465. It's in southeastern livery, starting with 65-800. 72900, etc. I don't really care too much about the numbers. That is not the level of rivet counter that I am. We are getting going on a sunny summer day in Rainham. And I cannot wait for sunny summer days and riding the train once again. It's been too long. Sir, ma'am, why are you walking through the stairs? Ma'am, you go around the stairs. And are you ghosts? Is that what's happening here? So, we've got our class 465. It's been a while since I've been in a 465. 3:37 p.m. I hear a train. Where is this train? There's train. Hello, train. Hello. What are you? You're at 375. Hello. Good to see you. Anyway, time for us to go. Doors are closed. Release our brakes, and let's go. That's a lot of current. 750 amps. Notch 4. Portsmouth. Thank you for joining, Rosemary. I will not say Portsmouth. I know it's Portsmouth. I don't want to get banned. I'm not actually on the Portsmouth route. That was an outdated notification. I'm actually on the Chatham mainline heading towards London, Victoria. Sunny summer day in England. I don't want England to ban me. How am I going to ride all the English trains if I am banned from England? That would be truly tragic. Truly tragic indeed. So, thank you all for joining. If you're here in real time on my stream, this is another Saturday stream. I did my last one just about a month ago, KermMartian number 43. Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time seem to be generally a reasonable time to consider doing these. That is for the speed limit that's coming up in just about a mile, 60. There's the warning. So if you are interested in joining live, and you are not, if you're watching this later, then please consider AWS keeping your Saturdays at 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time free. Soon may KermMartian come to bring us sugar and trains and rum. One day when the training is done, there'll still be trains to drive. Thank you for that, Tater. My good friend and roommate was obsessed with sea shanties and got that very much stuck in my head, which is why it turned into a calculator song. If you haven't seen that yet, you should look at my channel and see where I turn Wellerman into chip tunes for the calculator. Oh, come on. I was not speeding. That is absolute nonsense. That is positively nonsense. As always, I'm going to be going for a perfect score. I think -4 might be too much to get a perfect score. But we will see. We will see. That is utter nonsense. Glad to hear that physical therapy is going well. No, I was sorry to hear that you injured your hand, especially with the calculator kit that you are making that I am very excited to start putting together. We are stopping at Gillingham, right? Yes, we are. Let's see what the brakes are like on the 465. It's been so long that I have no clue. AWS. Ding. Gotta love the AWS ding. You'll notice this is a third rail train. That's that, you know, third rail to the side. All right. Not bad. Not bad. Pretty happy with that stop. Let's see where the back of our train ended up. Oh, well on the platform. Well on the platform. Very good. Very good. That's a good stop. I'm happy with that. So we're at Gillingham. It's 3:40 p.m. on a sunny summer's day, and we are heading to London on a stopping service. This scenario is scheduled to be an 80-minute scenario, so this will probably be the only route that I do today. As I was saying, I'm aiming for a perfect score, at least a gold star. Professionalism. The last video that I recorded was a trip along the not Portsmouth, the other one, the London to Ipswich line, London Liverpool Street to Ipswich, going the other way, towards London Liverpool, and it's the train that doesn't like to work properly, so I got tons of late penalties, which annoyed me. As a grudge match afterwards, like immediately afterwards, I hopped right back into Train Simulator, and without recording, without streaming, I tried it again. I got a perfect score, and I got to London Liverpool Street. I was pulling into the platform, like I was stopping. No, I had stopped, actually. It just hadn't gotten to registering the score yet, and Train Simulator crashed, and I was so annoyed. I was so mad because I had succeeded in getting the gold star and the 1,000 points, and the game crashed. So we're going to try to not click away from Train Simulator today. We're going to avoid terrible tragedies. Actually, while we're waiting here at Gillingham, let's take a screenshot. I like screenshots. Also, notice the realism of all the garbage on the tracks here. I find that quite amusing. Please don't litter, people. Alright, almost time to go. Almost time to depart. In fact, it is time to depart. Timeliness bonus. Let's go. Notch 2. 700 amps. 750. I think there must be a limit of 750 amps that you're allowed to pull. Off we go. Next stop is Chatham. All the hams. So many hams. Wait for those amps to start dropping. There we go. Now we can put in notch 3. Amps go up again. And 60-mile-an-hour limit. And we're going into a tunnel. Tunnel banter. Notch 4, why not? Why not? Back in the day, we might have had to be careful with our notches so we didn't pull too much current off the line, but these days, we might as well. The train will keep us from pulling too much current. We also need to, there's a 50 limit coming up there. Let's slow down for it. We're going down a hill, and then a 30, so we really want to lose some speed. It's been a very long time since I drove the Chatham main line, operated a train along the Chatham main line, so I do not remember too much about this route. So you'll get a reminder of it along with me, which will be good. Well, let's not lose too much speed here. We have places to be. Passengers to get to their destinations as we roll through the southeast of England. Nice little towns in here. Wouldn't mind paying them a visit. Can't wait. Oh, I'll put on some dynamic brakes. Lose speed down to 30. There we go. And keep an eye on our speed as we roll down this hill. I wonder why it's 30 here. Very strange. The world is very odd. Yes, you can derail in Train Simulator. NYQB GCD. In fact, these rapscallious individuals here were for a very long time trying to get me to put a train into a lake. I can neither confirm nor deny that I tried very hard in Train Simulator one day to get a train into a lake and eventually succeeded in getting a train into a river, which is almost a lake. I can neither confirm nor deny. But it is possible to derail, and if you look on YouTube, you can find many crash compilations where people have crashed trains in Train Simulator. This is Chatham. I pulled up to the 10-car marker, which is not ideal, but oh well. As you can see, 10-car marker, 10-car stop. Where I should have stopped was back here, where these monitors are, so I can look back along my train, where it's an 8-car, 6-car, and 4-car stop. So, the town of Chatham. The town of parking lots, apparently. Yeah, these are bigger buildings than I would expect in a town of this size. But I suppose we are technically in the suburbs of London, so I suppose that makes sense. One-click shopping. Shop online. I do indeed. Thank you very much. We've got some double-decker buses over here waiting for people to disembark from trains and hop on. Got the train tracks over there, so let us head back to our train. I've lost the train. I found the train again. LGR train derailment video. I don't think so. Time loose bonus. Doors are closed. Off we go. Next stop is Rochester, the new Rochester station. I learned about this from Moleman978's videos because I believe he lives in that general vicinity. That a few years ago, maybe 5 years ago now, 4 years ago, they closed the old Rochester station, built a new Rochester station, but you can still see the platforms from the old Rochester station as you pass through. I certainly think that's true in Train Simulator. I don't remember if it's true in the real world we're speeding. I saw that too late. There go another 8 points. Sadness and frustration. I have certainly seen videos with the jet train in Train Simulator where it does indeed literally fly. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. These houses are very close to the trains. Good if you like looking at trains, not so good if it disturbs your sleep. Here's the old Rochester station platforms, as advertised. No longer a station here for you to use, but further on we can find the real Rochester station. I don't know what the plan is for these old platforms, if they're going to tear them down, or if they've already torn them down in the real world, or what the deal is. Hello, Story Dragon. I know a number of dragons in my life, including a dragon of the earth. But I suppose you are not that dragon. Here's the real Rochester station. So when we stop here, I'm going to talk about Amtrak liveries, because they just released a new video a few days ago with some of their 50th anniversary liveries, and that is relevant to my interests, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's relevant to some of your interests as well. I think this is an S-car stop, which means, yes it is, that no matter what the length of your train is, you should stop at this little sign up here that says S. And stop, and doors. Let's take a look at how accurate that stop was. Ooh, a little bit early actually. A little bit early. I didn't think so, but not bad. Not bad. I can live with that. I can live with that indeed. Let's get a nice shot of our train sitting here at Rochester. Might as well get the Rochester sign in there even. Screenshots for days. So, new Amtrak liveries. No gallbladder. Livery as in the colors on the side. So, they announced like 6 new liveries for their 50th anniversary. One is a callback to the livery that was painted on the very first Amtrak locomotive on day 1. It is going to be on the new Siemens Charger number 301. Hello, train. They announced, well, they previously announced what they're calling Phase 6 livery for the new Chargers. I don't think they're putting it on the P42s. They have a special 50th anniversary livery for P42 number 46, which was supposed to pull President Joe Biden's train to Washington because he's the 46th president of the U.S. I guess there were security reasons why they decided against that, which is very unfortunate. But 46 is still decorated in 50th anniversary colors. What else is there? I feel like there are... I know there are some other ones in there. I'm trying to think. There was one that was called Midnight Blue. That was a very attractive, super dark navy blue. Off we go. Wait for our brake pipe to release. There it goes down. And there we go. Notch 2. Notch 3. Look at the very attractive car park there. Thank you very much. And head off to Soul Street in 6.5 miles. But the one I'm most excited about is the Phase 7 livery. It's quite attractive in my opinion. It has... What? Speeding? Oh, yes. Quite enthusiastically, as a matter of fact. That's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. That's a lot of points. That could cost us that gold star. I hope not. I hope not. It's what happens every single time I talk about something and I lose points. One day I will resist the temptation to try to make it interesting by talking about stuff and just focus on the trains. That was a green. Come on. We are... It says we're not going down a hill, but it sure feels like we are. Nice clouds. Oh, another train going underneath us. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Hello, train. Train. That's very cool. I'm enthused by that. So Phase 6 has red, white, light blue, and dark blue, and like the super dark slate gray on the bottom. It's really nice looking. They've only showed it off as a Siemens Charger livery. I think it should absolutely go on the P42s. I've been in my totally non-existent spare time trying to paint it on the side of a P42 locomotive just to see how it would look, and I think it looks real snazzy. So if anybody has an in with Amtrak, you should tell them that they need to put Phase 7 on the P42s ASAP because it looks dang good. All right, so 30 miles an hour crawling along towards Soul Street. Couple errands. Sounds good, Tater. I hope your errands go well. Thank you for joining for the beginning of this anyway. And see you soon. We'll see how far we get towards London, Victoria by the time you get back. Or, you know, see you in the next video. Either one. New colors of trains are always exciting, and especially with what seems like a renewed focus on rail and infrastructure in the U.S. under Biden. I am excited to see what happens. And my cohort of millennials and... What? Come on. That was barely speeding. Gen Z and Gen X also seem to like their trains quite a bit. So I'm excited to see where that goes. More trains is more better. KermMartian 2021. All right, now we can open the tap here. 8 in sand. Got a nice little pedestrian walkway over the tracks here, should you wish to cross safely. AWS. Ding. I see that the HUD here is telling us that in a mile I'll have to blow my horn for a grade crossing, which is good to know. Some of the scenarios penalize you if you don't blow the horn at grade crossings. Most do not, which is, I don't know, good or bad depending on how you look at it. I definitely miss a lot of them. My unfamiliarity with the routes means that I miss some of the grade crossings and whistle signs, but it also is less realism that I don't get dinged for forgetting to blow my horn. 66 miles an hour, heading towards 80. Quarter of a mile to that whistle post. Whistle board. I do enjoy that summer's day. I cannot wait for the outside to look like that. There's the whistle board. Hello, train. That was fortuitous. There's the crossing that I was blowing my horn for. Hello, train. Very nice. Very nice. Whenever I hear 465, like the class 465 that this is, I think it's 465 Diamond 6. Maybe it's 456 Diamond 6. I think it's 465 Diamond 6. The capsule in the Doctor Who episode Gridlock, where Martha is kidnapped by a pair of people who need to get into the fast lane. And I'm pretty sure their capsule was called 465 Diamond 6. I'm going to look that up, which is a dangerous thing to do. It is 465 Diamond 6. I am correct. Hooray. None are planned? No, that's unfortunate. You know, one of the terrible tragedies is almost every, I think I've said this in many of my previous videos, and especially volunteering at a trolley and train museum has given me more insight into this. Almost every town and city of any size, even quite small towns in the US, once had their own trolley systems, and many of them had what are called interurban, so medium speed trolley/trains that went between small towns, larger towns, big cities. And that was pretty much all destroyed by about 1950 or so, but it was really, really, really extensive mass transit. You know, it's almost all gone now, and it's an incredible shame to me that we lost that infrastructure. It'll cost just incredible amounts of money to get that back. I don't think we'll ever return to that heyday. You know, buses are too attractive of a intra-urban solution, and, you know, cars and buses are a mediocre inter-urban solution, but it really makes me sad that we lost all that rail infrastructure. It's a shame. Let us notch down and start getting ready to stop at Soul Street. I think I'm slowing down too early. I think that is the case. I'm going to actually back off the brakes for a moment. We are running a transit service, not a scenic service, which means we want to go as fast as we can for as long as we can, and then slow down as quickly as we can while still keeping things comfy for our passengers. I don't think my coffee is working today. Clearly I'm not using enough of it. Ding. Ooh, I'm going to overshoot this, I think. Slightly. That's a little unfortunate. Alright, that's good to know. So I actually need to slow down a little bit more enthusiastically as we enter the platform. More like notch 3 than notch 2, but that is fine. Passengers, if you are in the first carriage of today's service, please walk back to the second carriage in order to alight at Seoul Street. Thank you for riding Southeastern. Oh, I'm trying to remember how the announcement goes. I've heard it several times now in videos that Rosemary has sent me of being on trains in the UK. Let me look it up. I think this is how it goes. Yes. This is the one I was thinking of. If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff or text British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it. See it, say it, sorted. If you've just joined us, thank you for riding today's Southeastern service to London Victoria. Our next station stop will be Meofam. And that'll be in less than a mile. We have a 80-mile-an-hour speed limit here, so we'll be okay there. I'm not even sure this train can go 80 miles an hour. This is a relaxing thing to do. I do enjoy my trains and my train simulator. Life leaves so little time for trains these days, which is a real shame. I see we're passing under some high voltage transmission lines, no doubt heading to the city. Let's try some step 2 braking here and see what happens. As I've said in previous videos, I find that for some reason 37 miles an hour is a good speed at which to enter stations. I think this is going to be okay. Yes, let's see. I full serviced it as I entered the platform at 40 miles an hour. And that is too much. We're going to step back. One of the least professional things you can do as a train driver is fan the brakes. That is, repeatedly switch between a heavy brake application and a light brake application. I am a little bit surprised that it won't let me open my front doors. It seems to me that I got that pretty perfect. Train Simulator disagrees. It does indeed. I guess I'm a little bit past the sign. Alright, so I relaxed the brake a little too much. So, you know, if you switch between full service and then notch 1, then notch 3, and then notch 1, that's considered a bad idea. You should be able to just take a heavy application and then ease it off as you get slower and slower, because brakes have this interesting property, because of the way friction works, that a heavy application will only slow you slowly when you're going quickly, but will slow you very rapidly when you're going slowly. So you want to start with a heavy application when you're going quickly. Then as you start to slow down and that brake is more and more effective, you release some of that brake so you keep your deceleration constant. It's all very interesting to me. Hopefully it's interesting to you as well. Trains. Alrighty. Meofam. Meopum? Actually, that's probably like Meopum. British. British English is fun. Meopum. I'm going to say Meopum, because all the hams are ums. So Meopum seems more likely than Meofam. Meopum. Almost time to go. They're giving us a lot of... Either they're giving us a lot of time at each stop, or I'm just going too quickly between stations, because we seem to spend an awful lot of time dwelling at each of these stations, which leads to me wandering up and down the platform with my camera. Doors are closed. Timeliness bonus. Let's go. I'd love to get sufficiently familiar with one of these routes that I can operate it without having the HUD up. That would mean being familiar with the distance between stations, the list of stations, and especially the speed limits. I could also keep a particularly close eye on the, wayside signs, because they should tell me all the speed limit changes. And I suppose if I was concentrating hard enough, I would see them all. I definitely rely on the HUD, and therefore don't focus on looking for the wayside signs. But I should. It is the difference between operating a train for real and giving it my undivided attention, of course, as I do in the real world, and, recording a stream where there's also an interest in some banter. We have another whistle board coming up in 2/3 of a mile. $90-mile-an-hour limit here. I think we're A-OK for that. And Longfield is our next stop. It's interesting telling people how I enjoy playing Train Simulator, and their response is usually, if they're not also a train fan, they usually respond with something like, well, what is there to do? You can't steer. You just make it go and then make it stop. And I guess technically that's true. Hello, train. But it sure feels a lot more exciting than that. You have to make it go and stop the right way, smoothly, following a schedule. You have to go as quickly as possible, as much of the time as possible, and then, be able to stop at the right place, at the right time. But I think a lot of it is just the scenery and, being, that was too enthusiastic, feeling like you're in the environment, like you're actually riding the train or driving the train. I often talk about driving trains, operating, being a train operator as my post-startup burnout plan that, after my startup is purchased or acquired or for some other reason stops existing, that I will, obviously, if I have golden handcuffs, work at a company. If I love the work that I do, work at that company for a long time. But if something goes terribly wrong and I end up, not doing what I do anymore, that I go and operate trains. I don't know, sometimes I worry that maybe that's unrealistic and I'd actually be bored. But that seems unlikely to me. I do enjoy my trains so much. Indoors. There we go. That's pretty perfect. That is perfect. Now, unfortunately, that's perfect at the 10-car stop. If you were watching closely, I should have stopped back here at the 8-car stop, but I did not. Oh well. So, NYQBGCD, what brings you to the stream? How did you find me? Are you somebody I know from real life, from Chematech, or did you just happen across my stream looking for trains? Are you a train fan, buff, rivet counter, whatever you want to call train enthusiasts? Love the birds chirping in the background. It's very peaceful. Almost time to go, so I'm going to ease off my brakes just a little bit. Doors are closed. Off we go. I suspect it's bad form to blow my horn leaving stations, but I do it anyway. Ah, nice. Do you play other simulators? I know Euro Truck Simulator is a very popular one. I love watching, of course I'm going to forget his name. Ground Pound 68. What the heck is his real name? Air Force Proud 95. Do you watch? If you've watched any of his videos, I greatly enjoy those. Those are a riot. So I definitely enjoy watching other simulators, but Train Simulator is the one for me. I don't really have an interest in playing the other ones. Is that reflective of real life? Is it surprisingly easy to flip a truck in real life? I get the impression that being a truck driver is actually a really hard thing to be. And I'm always quite impressed driving along, seeing people effortlessly handling these, multi-ton giant trucks barreling down the highway at 70 miles an hour. AWS ramp. Next stop is going to be Farmingham Road in just under 2 miles. Let's take a look back in our carriages, see what it's like to ride the train from here. Ooh, loud, apparently. I think somebody left a window open. Jeez. Alright. Southeasternrailway.co.uk. Got some advertisements up here. Save money, buy a season ticket. Southeastern. Very exciting. What up, Knights Who Say Knee? Good to have you here. Good to have you joining the stream. If you or somebody else is just joining, we are on the Chatham mainline on a sunny summer's day in England, heading towards London, Victoria, taking a stopping service all the way in. A Lego crocodile. Nice, nice. Lego is one of those fun hobbies that really binds Chematech together. My Geopipe co-founder Thomas and I first met through Chematech and my enthusiasm for the Lego building game Blockland, if you've ever seen it or played it, wherein you're a little Lego character building things at Lego scale. Got it. Got it. Yeah, that seems like something to be careful of. Knowing almost nothing about Euro Truck Simulator, how extensive is it? Can you go like hundreds of miles in it? Is it that extensive? Or are they like train simulator routes where they tend to be a little bit shorter unless you get a fan-made one that tend to be longer? Pull right up to this S-car stop. Try to make this a professional stop. Notch 1. Nope, I'm going to stop short. Somewhat short. Come on. Come on. Fine. Not the world's best stop, but not bad either. Oh, it's scaled down. Interesting. Interesting. I don't love that, to be honest. I mean, I guess I can see that it would get boring driving for, dozens of hours across Europe. But I'm honestly a little disappointed that that's not, it's not like real scale Europe. If you're just joining, you are probably not familiar with what my startup actually does. I'm a founder and CEO of a 4.5-year-old deep tech startup called Geopipe. We teach computers to build 3D models of the real world using machine learning. And one of the things that first inspired me to do that was wanting to create train simulator routes that are hundreds of miles long, like the size of the real world, with every detail, every rail, every tree, every house, every road that exists in the real world. Because we talked to people at Dovetail, the company that makes Train Simulator, and it can take them like a week per quarter mile of route. And the one I'm operating on now is, I think it's like 80 miles. So, 80 times 4 is, 320 person weeks to make a route like this, which is just insane. So I can imagine that, scaling that up to Europe where it's hundreds of miles would make it both unreasonable to make the routes in the first place, let alone, drive across them for dozens of hours and have people get bored. I'm going to blow my horn. In this case, I'm blowing my horn for the fact that there's this little pedestrian crossing in front of me. Half pedestrian crossing. Yeah, exactly. The level design is a reasonable thing to be aware of. GeoPipe is going very well, Knights Who Say Knee. Thank you for asking. I'm very proud to say that we managed to find some new applications during the pandemic, like helping universities with virtual campus tours. We have some very large customers who have been working with us on using our tech in game-like scenarios, but that are not games. And we've been rapidly hiring people. If for some reason you know somebody who is a machine learning or deep learning expert or a C++ hacker looking for a job and wants to work with a startup, they should give me a shout. We actually have 3 more people that we're adding to the team in the next couple of weeks, and we have some new pieces of our tech that are coming online soon, new cities that are coming online. At long last, London is finally coming to GeoPipe soon after us wanting to add it for years now. We tend to prioritize based on what customers are asking us for, and we just didn't have enough customers asking for London. We kept prioritizing US cities, but now we have the desire, so London will be coming online. I am very lucky that I have work that I love. It means some sleepless nights, of course. That is what a startup co-founder is, but I love it. I love what I do. Here comes another whistleblower. In other U.S. trade news relevant to my interests, the new rail line from New York City directly to Burlington, Vermont, by way of Albany, Rutland, Vergennes, Ferrisburg, etc., continues to advance. My sources tell me that by Q1 or Q2 of 2022, trains will start running along that route, which is very exciting to me. It'll cut down what's currently about an 8.5 to 9 hour trip by way of the current Vermonter, which goes through New Haven, Springfield, Greenfield, Brattleboro, etc. Hello, train. 30 mile an hour. We're not going that way. To what should be about a 6-hour journey, which will make bilocating and commuting back and forth between New York City and Vermont much, much easier. Among other things, my startup has a New York City office and a Burlington, Vermont office, so that is very useful to me. I'm very excited about the number of new train lines that are going to be springing up in the near future. Let's keep it up the US. We need more infrastructure. Ding. That was a little enthusiastic of a stop. Here we go. Passengers, this stop is Swanley. If Swanley is your destination, this is where you should alight. Doors are open as another train pulls up across the platform from us. If you would like to transfer to that train, you are out of luck because it doesn't look like it's stopping here. Very good. Very good, train. I am doing something that is not a good idea, Googling something on my laptop while we do this. Apparently Southeastern has javelins on this line. I want to operate a javelin here. Alright, so let's see. We went through Rainham, Gillingham, Chatham, Rochester, Soul Street, Meopham, Longfield, Farningham Road, and this is Swanley. Now, are we going through Peckham Rye and Denmark Hill? Yes, I believe we are. 10 minutes bonus. Let's go. Passengers, if you've just joined us on the Southeastern service, this is a London Victoria bound train. calling at St. Mary Cray, Bromley South, Shortlands, Peckham Rye, Denmark Hill, Brixton, and London, Victoria. Full service. Full notch. Notch 4. Full service is the other thing. That's an issue in a lot of game design. The desire to balance the size of the world such that it feels big and expansive and fun with not making it so far between things that it's unfun to, get from place to place. Personally, I think the best solution is to have the world be full scale and just make it possible to get between places faster, have transport mechanisms like fast travel that allow you to cut those distances down. But it depends, of course, a lot on the game. Like Euro Truck Simulator, that's not really reasonable because you can't just fast travel or hop in a jet because then you're not driving a truck. So tell me about, I didn't realize there was a monetary component. So you earn money as a truck driver, and then what is the purpose of that? What do you do with that money? I assume you're talking about in-game money. I would be very surprised if you meant real-life money. Although that would be a really clever way to, and extremely dangerous way to teach autonomous vehicles to get Euro Truck Simulator players to, teach the vehicles. Coffee. Coffee is the thing that makes the world go round. Ding. AWS says no worries. Half a mile to St. Mary Cray, so let us start shedding some speed. See, as you can see, I'm on notch 2 of braking, step 2, and I am losing speed quite slowly. Maybe too slowly. Nah, I think I'll be alright. Come on. You can do it. There you go. And are those other drivers humans, or do you recruit NPCs as other drivers so you become like the manager of a truck line rather than just, air quotes around, just a driver? Interesting. More money if you drive the route yourself. Hello, passengers. This is St. Mary Cray. If St. Mary Cray is your stop, please alight here. Please remember to bring all of your belongings with you. Gotcha. That would be cool. I've always wished there was a real multiplayer in Train Simulator. You can always do, ad hoc challenges where you and a friend play the same route at the same time. You see how you each keep to the schedule, and you see how many points you can each get. But, it's not the same because you're not actually driving in the same world. You can't see each other or anything. So that is that. That is indeed that. This is a London Victoria bound service calling at Bromley South, Shortlands, Peckham Rye, Denmark Hill, Brixton, and London Victoria. Almost time to go. Please stand clear of the closing doors. That's not British, but oh well. Come on, train. You can do it. There we go. based on the sounds that this train makes. Well, actually, I was going to say I think it has AC motors, but I'm not sure. Let's look it up. We're in a 90-mile-an-hour speed limit zone, going to a 60 soon. The Class 465 Networker is a class of MUs built by a bunch of British companies, designed for fast acceleration, operated by Network Southeast until 1996. That's for the speed limit. And then Connex Southeastern until 2003, Southeastern Trains until 2006, and Southeastern to the present day. They have traction motors. Does not actually say. So let me focus on operating this train, and when we stop at the next station, I will let you know. I'm just trying to control my speed so I stay around that 60-mile-an-hour mark. I think that green is for us, which is good. Yep. Here comes the 60-mile-an-hour zone. Very good. We are going down a hill, so we might pick up a little speed. And we have 2 2/3 miles to Bromley South. Ding. We'll pick up more speed if I accelerate, though. I said I was going to wait until a station, but I didn't. So these trains do indeed have 3-phase AC traction motors. Traction equipment refitted in 2009 to 2010, built by Hitachi, who, as you may know, also make one of my favorite British trains, the Class 800, 801, 802, which is a beautiful train, and the one on which I have based the CPR-R1 in Train Simulator, my personal private train car that I love. We are losing too much speed. Let's do something about that. I find the British routes are much more forgiving than other routes with speed and reaching stations. I don't know why that is. In particular, I think that's one of the reasons I don't enjoy the German routes as much. They tend to have extremely tight timetables, and it's real tough to keep to the timetable. We are skipping through whatever station this is and heading towards Bromley South. I am keeping an eye on that speed and taking a screenshot. There's a gasworks over there as the frame rate absolutely plummets. Well done, Train Simulator. Ooh, another train. Why is it sitting there? Are you okay, train? What you doing? I'm going to make a mental note to myself. There are some speed limit changes after Bromley South. And start slowing down for Bromley South. Passengers, we are now approaching Bromley South. If this is your final stop, please gather all of your belongings and prepare to alight. Frame rate, you can do it. Ding. Platform 3, where are my stopping markers? Where are they? It's an S-car stop. This is the problem with not driving these routes frequently. Eventually I would get used to where the stops are at each station. Beautiful. Beautiful. Very pleased with that. Very pleased indeed. So let me tell you more about the Class 465 that we're operating. Let's see. They were built by two different manufacturers, by Metro Camel and by BREL, British Rail Engineering Limited. They look basically the same. Their dot matrix displays on the front and rear are slightly different, and they have different traction motors. Or did originally, I guess. Unsurprisingly, they have solid-state traction converter packages, which includes rheostatic or regenerative dynamic braking. That's interesting. And they have electro-pneumatically activated disc brakes. That's cool. Maximum speed is 75 miles an hour. As we've seen, these do struggle trying to get up to 80 miles an hour. Oh, it's time to go. I thought we had more time at this station. Hopefully we don't lose our time in this bonus. Passengers who have just joined us, this is a London-bound service calling at Denmark Hill, Brixton, and London Victoria. I believe I previously claimed we would be stopping at Peckham Rye, but I was incorrect. All right, see you now, okay? Thank you for joining. Have a good grocery run, and talk to you soon. We have a 40-mile-an-hour zone coming up. Keep my eye on that. We're going to be skipping through Ravensbourne, apparently. I'm sure that, well, I'm not sure. I strongly suspect that that 40-mile-an-hour limit means we will be changing tracks. Yep, there's the feather up on the signal. We are going to be heading to the right. Hello, train. Where's our switching track? There it is. We are taking this branch. I wonder where the other one goes. Oh, I know where it goes. It goes to Shortlands. No. It goes to Beckenham Junction and straight to Brixton. It's a little bit more direct, it looks like. Actually, let's just fully notch up. Why not? Why not? Ha! Exactly, Nick Powell. What? Speeding? That's nonsense. Utter nonsense. Complete and utter nonsense. I needed those points. I needed them. I think we're going to be getting a score of 919 or so. Now we can speed up. I think 919 is not enough for a gold star, which makes me very sad indeed. If I'm doing my math right. Five and 3/4 miles to Denmark Hill, and we're about to start speeding again. Ding. There's the ding. 40-mile-an-hour limit coming up. Come on, Train Simulator. You can do it. Welcome back, Tater. Appreciate it. Here's another train. Hello, train. Glad you made it back before we reached London. Can I stick my head out the window? Yes, I can. Just being polite and blowing my horn at these stations to let people know to stand away from the platform edge. Lag. The lag is because I have this game on a spinning Rust hard drive, and Train Simulator is not good at loading the next segment of the map from disk smoothly, especially with a, spinning disk instead of an SSD. One of the many shortcomings of having an engine that's like a decade or more old. 40-mile-an-hour limit coming up. as we get into some more populous areas of the London suburbs. We are going, ding, too slowly. No need to go this slowly this soon. Famous last words indeed. 40-mile-an-hour limit warning. We have 3 rules at the museum at which I volunteer for visitors. Don't smoke because we have lots of old things that are made of wood. Don't stand up while a train is in motion. And don't stick anything you want to take home with you out the window, including phones, hands, or heads. We are right around 40 miles an hour, which is right where we want to be as we head towards Denmark Hill. Here's another train settling, wiggling along. Hello, train. Wiggle, wiggle. Another southeastern. Almost to a 50 mile an hour. That is some serious super elevation. Whoa, look at that. Super elevation screenshot time. Wow. Dang. That's aggressive. I think that's too aggressive. Hello, passengers. I will not be stopping for you. Sorry. I will instead be wrapping up my controller. And quite immediately wrapping it down again. That was probably Peckham Rye. I think we're heading towards Denmark Hill. No, that was too far away to be Peckham Rye. Those are extremely local stations along this route. I don't know who serves this route. Would be interesting to know. We can speed up again. This train is losing speed more quickly than I would anticipate. Let's see if we can see what station this is. This is Crofton Park. It bothers me a little bit that you get points off for slightly speeding, whereas in real life, you would just, get an alert and have to decrease your speed, or at worst, get a penalty brake application. But, oh well. It is good training for being precise with train operation. No pun intended on that training. Repeater says the next signal is a green. I know. I see the speed limit. Thank you. But this next signal was in fact a yellow. Perhaps I misread the repeater. Ding. Really? We will slow, preparing to stop at the next signal, but it is green, so no worries. Frame rate struggles. Back up to 60 miles an hour, thank you very much. Or 40, I suppose. This is... I cannot quite read that. What does that say? What does that say? Nunhead. Nunhead, that's interesting. It's probably nunned or something like that. Alright, we're gaining speed too quickly. This is quite the intricate little series of speed limits as we ease towards Denmark Hill. Whew, just in time. Just in time. Here comes the city. And the trains. And Denmark Hill, for that matter. I'm going to be tempted to do the Chatham mainline again in my next video, which I think will not be today, unfortunately. But every time I play a route like this, I think to myself that I could probably do better playing it again in the near future when I've gotten some familiarity with how it's laid out. For a moment, I thought that train was on the same track as us. That would give us a bad day indeed. Now we have rejoined, not quite, almost rejoined that track that branched off from us earlier. Almost, not quite. Brixton is where they rejoin. Passengers, this is going to be Denmark Hill. If Denmark Hill is your destination, please gather your belongings. Doesn't seem like we're going to stop in time. Nope. Nope, we're going to lose the first car's doors. That's unfortunate. Doors open. Just barely, though. Just barely. We have a train friend over there. Quick screenshot. Screenshot banter, of course, the best kind of banter. Although, to be fair, that engineer did not get his whole train on his or her whole train on the platform either. Oh, he tried, though. They tried. Also, 9 is what I pressed just now. So we need to pick passengers up from Denmark Hill and then London Victoria. All right. Passengers, the next and final stop on this London-bound service is London Victoria. All passengers must depart the train at London Victoria. Doors are closed. Off we go. Our next speed limit is 45 miles an hour, and then 20, and then 45. Oh boy. 4 miles to London, Victoria, but life is going to be exciting until we get there. We have a double amber. That is prepare for the next signal to be amber, and I believe reduce speed to 30 miles an hour or below. I know, I know. Although this one is a 45, our last instruction was a double amber, so that's what we're going to do. Stay at 30 miles an hour. Ish. Ish. Close enough. This is going to be a 20 here. Should probably slow down for it. Beautiful. Beautiful. This is quite the interchange here. Quite the interchange indeed. Or interlocking for us Americans. Oh, nope, let's not speed. It's a bad thing to do. We need our points. Points. I see the signals clearing in front of us, which usually means we're following another train into London, Victoria. I'm very confused why there's a red signal there. Ah, there's another line joining ours. That is why. I believe that may have been Brixton just now. But I'm not sure. Train, train, train. Train, train, train. We can speed up a little bit. Just a little. Especially since we now have greens and are in a 45. No reason not to go 45 miles an hour. Wandsworth. Second word is going to be common, I bet. Yeah, the FPS keeps chugging. No, Wandsworth Road. As I was saying, Train Simulator does a... Oh, this was when you were not back yet. Does not do a good job of parallelizing running the game while loading data from disk. So when it's loading the next chunk of the map from disk, especially a spinning Rust hard drive, it chugs. It chugs like crazy. As I said, one of the disadvantages of using an engine, a game engine that is over a decade old to my knowledge, and has just been sort of patched ever since. All right, we are apparently cleared to diverge left at 45 miles an hour. This is a high-speed switch. Generally, the shallower the angle of a switching track, or the points in British terminology, the higher the speed you're allowed to take that switch at. Not sure what that beep is for. We don't have a speed restriction, and we don't have a restricting signal. Weird. There is Battersea Power Station coming up on the right. The last I heard, the iconic Battersea Power Station was being turned into housing. But it's been a few years since I heard that, so I don't know if it's true. Speaking of Doctor Who, also a location for, or at least a backdrop for, some Cyberman episodes of Doctor Who. 35-mile-an-hour limit coming up in half a mile. Ah, speeding. Annoying. Come on. That's for the 35. There's an earth mover down there building something new. Very good. We need more housing. More housing is good. Looks like this train is waiting for us to go past, which is quite polite of it. Give it a little toot on my horn to thank it. Almost at London Victoria. There it is on the HUD now, in less than a mile. Passengers, thank you once again for riding Southeastern. Our next and final stop is London Victoria. Once again, if you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff or text British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it, see it, say it, sorted. Gotta have that FUD. We've been cleared into platform 7, as you can see from the sign above the track. Trains everywhere. That's a lot of flange squeal. Flange squeal is that squeaky noise that you sometimes hear trains make when they're going through a tight curve, because the flanges of the wheel, the part that keep it on the rails, are scraping against the rails. And here we are, entering London Victoria. And there are the buffers. Way back there somewhere. I can only assume that they started with only platforms inside the shed, and then as the station has expanded, all these platforms, you know, way out here outside of the shed were added. I assume. All right, here we are. Do a brake check there. All good. This is London Victoria. All passengers, please leave the train. So, we did it. That was fun. Not the most points. We lost some points to speeding. We didn't spad. We didn't pass any signals at red. We didn't completely miss any stations. We did have, I think, 2 or 3 stations where the doors on the first car didn't open, but not by much. So I would call that broadly a successful run. I think I'm going to get, 77 is 99. 906 points, which is probably a silver star, not a gold star. But I will take it. We can always do this again someday. Could indeed. But let's see. Let's not count our points before they hatch, so to speak. Wowel Doodles. Is this the first train simulator stream you've joined, Tater, or were you in one of the previous ones? I apologize for not remembering. Great work. All tasks completed successfully. Let's see how well you did. 906 points, which gives us a silver star. Cool, cool, cool. We were on time to every station. We did do a little bit of speeding, but otherwise good. So I'm quite pleased with that, and I have unlocked a little badge of getting 800 points in Chatham mainline Victoria bound. I don't know what that means exactly, if it's Chatham mainline in general or you have to be going inbound. First one a month ago. Yeah. So that video is up on my YouTube channel. So thank you for joining. It was a pleasure to have you all here for the stream. As I've said, these are always a great deal of fun. My schedule doesn't leave me enough time to do Train Simulator at nearly as much as I want, but I will certainly continue to endeavor to do these more frequently. Most likely these will be Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you for joining, NYQB GCD. Good luck with your Euro trucking, and I hope you will rejoin for my next video. My next stream. I will certainly announce it on my YouTube channel, youtube.com, user KermMartian. And I probably should also start posting these on Twitter too. I have a weird crossover of professional and personal audience on Twitter, so I was a little hesitant to announce this on Twitter, but I may do so anyway. I should probably announce it on my Twitch in advance as well. So thank you once again for joining. If you have suggestions, comments, questions, anything you would like to see in a future Train Simulator video, or if for some reason you're here because you actually care about my calculator content and I'm missing a calculator related video that you'd like to see, let me know. Do all those usual things, please, so you will find out when I'm doing my next stream or video, and I look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. Be well. Bye.